Good morning, Mountain View. It is lovely to see you all here. And I was hoping to say on a bright, sunny day, but I don't think the sun has quite peeked out yet. But I have to say that I'm so thrilled to be back with you. We have a great new program. And I'm Peter Katz, CEO of the Mountain View Chamber of Commerce. Welcome. So here we are. It's the start of spring. It's a new beginning, a bright future, a gathering of old friends and colleagues. You know, it's funny. We always say, do we leave enough time for schmoozing at the beginning? And we never do. But please, please continue afterwards. A lot to look forward to, and that's what today is really all about. Today is about looking forward, what's ahead, and we are delighted to have an esteemed panel to talk about what's up for Mountain View coming up. As you may know, the Chamber fuels our local economy through professional networking, government advocacy, public forums, and, of course, events like this that keep you informed and promote engagement on key areas that impact our local economy and social vibrancy. But we also do community building programs. And if you look at the placard that's in front of you on the tables, you'll see a few of our key programs that are coming up. The first I want to mention is Scholarship Mountain View. Scholarship Mountain View is an amazing program where about 20 students from our local high schools get $2,500 each to put forward to their education. They can use that money for anything. They can use it for tuition, they can use it for housing, they can use it for childcare. And we know that these are some of the things that keep people from forwarding their education. We want to eliminate those barriers. And the second thing is they can choose to use that money towards a four-year college, a two-year college, trade school, anything that promotes their education going forward. Because again, there are so many ways up the mountain, we don't want to limit that. So we encourage you to give generously to that fund. And the second one is Leadership Mountain View. Let me see a show of hands here. How many of you are part of the best class ever? Okay, for those of you who are not, it is a one-year immersive program, one day a month, full day. You engage with all of the movers and shakers of Mountain View. And if you have any questions about the value of this program, just talk to the folks who raised their hands. We'll be taking sign-ups starting on April 1st. No fooling. And finally, Celebration of Leaders. If you haven't been to Celebration of Leaders, please come, because that is the event to be seen at in terms of really, really celebrating the heart, the soul, the core of Mountain View. We honor nonprofits, we honor businesses, we honor individuals, and every year it's probably one of the most inspiring evenings you can come to, and a ton of fun. So that's May 16th. The businesses that make up the Chamber are core to our city and to making today's events happen. We want to start by thanking our presenting sponsor, El Camino Health. Where are you guys? Okay, there. Since 1961, El Camino Health has served as the healthcare partner of choice for the community that founded and funded it, delivered tailored health solutions that are as diverse as the neighborhoods it supports. And as an exceptional leader in healthcare, we are excited to hear more from them later in the program. Special thanks goes to our signature sponsors, Google and Intuit. How many of you have been here before to the Hyatt Centric? Okay, for those of you who haven't, I hope you are enjoying the amazing facilities that are here. This is one of those jewels inside of Mountain View that I always hear from people, I didn't know this place existed. Well, that's one of the reasons the Chamber exists, is to bring you to places like this. And again, we are so grateful to Hyatt Centric for letting us have our event here. You see a few cameras going on here. That's KMVT, local public television. Thank you for their outstanding audiovisual support and for taping the event, because we can't seat everybody, and we want to make sure that people can watch the proceedings at a later time. We also want to thank our media sponsor, the Mountain View Voice. We are also delighted to have their team in the house to cover the event. Always good. And our sincere thanks to our partner sponsors who demonstrate Mountain View's leadership and forward thinking in such a wide array of industries. We have Aurora, Graystar, the Jeffrey Morris Group, LinkedIn, Neuro, PG&E, Presidio Bay Ventures, Recology, Stanford Medicine Children's Health, and Valley Water, and the Village at San Antonio in the house. Let's give them a big hand. But of course, the most fun is to actually see what they're doing, what is new and on the horizon. So we have a short video here to show you what they're doing right here in Mountain View right now.
When you're working out there on the mudflats, the tide starts coming in, the fog starts to burn off, and it's almost like you feel the whole bay breathing. My passion is growing great oysters and creating incredible experiences for the community. There's millions of oysters in this bay. Gemini and Google Sheets has given us the ability to analyze our data and help us track our growing inventory, making sorting and processing a lot easier. This is a beautiful thing we're doing, and we're proud of what we do.
At PG&E, we're adding more safe and affordable renewable energy every day. We're deploying new technologies that will allow electric vehicles to power homes, which helps customers save more money by capturing low-cost energy. And we're working on new ways to store power so that this safe, clean, and low-cost energy is available around the clock. In fact, we've got one of the world's biggest battery storage plants right here in our backyard. Explore the future with us at pge.com/innovation.
This self-driving truck is changing the game for cereal. With high-tech cameras and sensors, this truck navigates the road all on its own, making trucking more safe and efficient. So next time you grab your favorite cereal, just remember the future's here, and it was probably brought autonomously.
You can count on Valley Water to provide Santa Clara County with safe, clean water, natural flood protection, and environmental stewardship. We maintain our creeks and invest in infrastructure, including our dams, pipelines, and water treatment plants. Flood protection projects are moving forward to protect you and your family. We care for our environment and all native species that call it home. We're looking to the future and planning for a changing climate and more frequent droughts. Valley Water works for you. We're water people. Learn more at valleywater.org.
This is Tina. She makes time to recycle. But where should Tina's apple core go? If she throws it away, this is where it ends up. That's Tina's apple core, right there. When organic materials like food scraps and yard trimmings go to the landfill, that creates a number of adverse effects. You may not know that in landfills, a lack of oxygen slows down the decomposition process of organic material and results in the production of harmful greenhouse gases that fuel climate change, like methane. If, instead, Tina throws it in the green bin, it makes a huge difference. Unlike landfills, composting significantly reduces greenhouse gas emissions. It puts nutrients back into the food we eat, so things like apples are more nutritious. If we want a world without waste, that's within our grasp, but we must make composting part of our routine.
Parenting hacks make life easier, like picking out an outfit the night before, or eating dessert in a contained area, or keeping the peace with a slight reconfiguration. And if you're looking for ways to make life less stressful, here's something you should know. Our network brings Stanford excellence to over 65 locations around the Bay Area. So finding world-class pediatric care from the routine to the rare close to you is as easy as this. Stanford Medicine Children's Health. Access to excellence.
What really is amazing when we watch some of these videos is that we see sustainability, we see innovation, and we see a community spirit in all of these. And that's Mountain View. So we're also grateful to see so many of the individuals in the audience here today, and we want to recognize them on behalf of the work that they do for our community. We're honored to have our regional elected officials at various tables. From Congressman Sam Liccardo's office, Justice Justin Young. From Senator Josh Becker's office, Isabel Augustine and Saul Miranda. From Assemblymember Mark Berman's office, Elise Lester. Assemblymember Kevin Mullen's office, Priscilla Molina. And Mountain View's first county supervisor in over 50 years, Margaret Abakoga. We have members of our esteemed city council here. Of course, we have our mayor, who we'll be hearing from in just a moment, but we also have council member John McAllister and council member Pat Showalter. And from El Camino Healthcare District, we have Dr. Carol Summersill, Secretary and Treasurer John Zoglin, and Board Member Julia Miller. From the Mountain View Wisman School District, President Bill Lambert, Clerk Lisa Henry, Trustee Devin Conley, and Superintendent Jeffrey Bear. From the MVLA High School District, Trustee Catherine Vonnegut and Superintendent Eric Volta. And from Foothill De Anza, we have Foothill President Christina Whalen, and we also have from the Santa Clara County Board of Education, Jessica Spicer. Finally, I want to recognize those who directly support our day-to-day operations. Members of the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors are scattered all around the room, and we could not do this without you. Could you raise your hand and be recognized? We also have a number of our volunteers and ambassadors scattered around. Can you guys wave? Woohoo! And of course, a big thanks to the Chamber team for putting on this special event and being awesome all year around. Special thanks to our events goddess, taking pictures in the back, Maricel Malara. This is you. I also want to thank Priscilla Hernandez, our membership director, Marnie Lee, our head of Leadership Mountain View. Thank you all. And with that, let me welcome to the stage Javier Gonzalez, Government Affairs and Public Policy Manager for Google.
Thank you very much, Peter. Appreciate the introduction. This morning, we're really excited to enjoy a deep dive in three important sectors: healthcare, housing development, and our small businesses in Mountain View. We will be featuring some local leaders, and the mayor will facilitate a conversation with them. But before we do that, and I introduce the mayor, let's begin the short video from the city, and then we'll hear some remarks from the mayor.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Awesome. So I'm Ellen Kamei. I'm mayor of the city of Mountain View. It's great to be with all of you on this wonderful occasion. Some of you may know my family's been in Mountain View for decades. So as a third-generation resident, now raising the fourth generation here, I hope you really enjoyed that video. Quiz later on all the locations and all the events. And I feel fortunate to join you in this inaugural event since the last time I was mayor was in 2021 during the pandemic. And now in 2025, our businesses are bouncing back. We're having our first ever morning with the mayor. And the city, I just wanted to highlight a couple strategic steps and fine-tuning plans on what we're doing to create the Mountain View of tomorrow. So let's begin. The first thing I'd like to talk about is our economic vitality. We have a 10-year strategy that the City Council adopted nearly a year ago in April 2024, and our chamber is among our community partners in helping us to implement this strategy for a strong, innovation-driven local economy. We have 5 goals, and one of them is establishing centers all throughout the city of Mountain View and creating commercial hubs, community gathering spaces. So some of you may have been and know the San Antonio Center is one of those hubs. So maybe you went to like the sold out like mini golf that was right out here. They did like a puppy wag dog. I went to the artisan fair and spent way too much money. And through events like those, and this month we just had our multicultural festival. We're looking forward to launching our concerts on the plaza. And in warmer months, we draw people from all around the city, but all around the region and the world. Next, I'd like to talk about how we're focusing on serving our business community. So many of you right here, we're listening and we're responding to your business community needs. On this slide, you will see our police chief, Mike Canfield, Lieutenant Evan Crowell, along with our economic development team, meeting with our downtown businesses. And if you can see, Red Rock, talking about recent retail theft concerns. And the city has been working with our police department on efforts to enhance safety in our city. This is one of the ways that we as a city are trying to be responsive to your business needs. And you may recall that the city had a one-stop permit program pre-pandemic. Well, I'm pleased to announce that the city will unveil a new program in the coming weeks that improves upon the original one permitting program that will better support our small businesses along with our single-family homeowners and in fast-tracking their process. And part of that was creating a whole new renovation. You may have seen it boarded up. So we're going to be unveiling that very, very soon. Then I'd like to talk about our downtown updates. I enjoy coming to downtown. I'm there almost every day. And the city's invested in addressing our vacancies that we're seeing in our downtown core. It's a top priority for myself and our council. The pedestrian mall is coming along, and you'll see here that we have removed bus shelters that are no longer needed on this pedestrian-friendly corridor, which helps improve the visibility for your businesses, making it easier to go and see entrances and signage. In addition, you'll see a rendering here of our decorative street treatments for the central walkway that are coming for our 100, 200, and 300 blocks of Castro Street. These are what we're calling ribbons, and the design gets installed within the next couple of months, weather permitting. We want the rain. I know Valley Water is in the house, but we also want to be able to make sure that we're painting the ribbons just in time for the summer months to make sure we're attracting people downtown. And our wayfinding signage is coming too. This signage will make it easier for visitors to find what they're looking for and discover our new downtown offerings. And then I want to talk about the future, what we're all here to discuss. On the horizon in Mountain View, our Mountain View of tomorrow, we're taking planning and collaboration among all sectors of our community very seriously. And you'll see this is a heat map. We see how our downtown attracts visitors from all across Silicon Valley. And a recent study found that this area attracts a demographic that spends significantly more on food, entertainment, and retail than the national average. This is all incredible news, and thanks to our Mountain View voters who passed Measure G, we estimate receiving an additional $5.9 million annually from the property transfer tax increases for property sales above $6 million. And all of this and more will contribute to strengthening Mountain View's future outlook and addressing community needs. And I think something also on the horizon is something called World Cup and the Super Bowl. And for myself, as mayor, we are starting to have different discussions regionally and with other mayors talking about how people will get around for those events and how we can bring more into Mountain View, and maybe we can be a destination for a host country. That's all in the works. So as we look forward to 2025, we can acknowledge we're all facing many challenges coming from the federal level, but even so, I am excited about the possibilities locally, especially on this panel that we're about to have. I think all of us are ready to talk about the future and bring some positivity to the conversation. So without further ado, I'm gonna give my panelists a moment to prepare themselves to come on down. Now that we've talked about Mountain View from the city perspective, we're gonna bring our important business partners. So first from Ceres Regis, Vice President of Development, Chris DeHaan. Let's give him a warm welcome as he makes his way over. From El Camino Health, we have our Chief Operating Officer, Tracy Lewis Taylor. And the owner of Giorgio's Italian Grill and Pizzeria, Mike D'Ambrosio. I want to thank the three of you for being here, and what we're going to do is we'll try to spotlight each of them, have a little bit of discussion, and then we're going to do some rapid fire questions where they're going to talk about all the amazing things that they love about Mountain View. So Tracy, let's spotlight you and El Camino Health. You joined El Camino Health almost a year ago, I think 10 months, right? Please share a bit about your background and about El Camino Health and Mountain View.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me this morning. I was reflecting on some of your comments that you're third generation, raising fourth generation in Mountain View. I'll confess, I'm an East Coast native, but I've been in the area now just about 8 years. But this is my first role in the South Bay and in Mountain View, and it's been such a privilege to be here with all of you and serving this particular community. I've spent my entire career in healthcare, so over 25 years. Been Chief Operating Officer for the last 8 years, like I said, predominantly in the East Bay, but now here at El Camino for the last 10 months or so. And maybe I'll just share a little bit about what a Chief Operating Officer does in case you are not familiar with the role. Just at its core, I spend my day really focused on coordinating all of the functions within the hospital setting. So making sure that all of the departments run smoothly and efficiently. I have direct oversight and accountability for areas like our inpatient nursing, operational areas like pharmacy, rehab services, food and nutrition, environmental services, facilities, et cetera, et cetera. So all of the different areas. But like I said, my role is to make sure that all of those areas are working, coordinating together in service of our patients. And what we really focus on, as you can imagine, is making sure that our patients receive the highest quality of care, that the quality of care is not only in service of their patient outcomes, but obviously making sure that their experiences are consistent with what they can expect from an organization like El Camino Health as well. And obviously we do that making sure that we're fiscally responsible, and of course making sure that we're paying attention to the needs of our own internal employees as well. So sort of broad role, focus mostly internal to the organizational setting, but I'll talk a little bit more about what we're doing external facing as well in just a little bit.
All right, thanks so much. So Tracy, tell us about some of the broader community initiatives that El Camino is working on.
Yeah, so like I said, most of my role is focused on work that's happening inside the walls of the hospital, and that's oftentimes what we think about when we think about day-to-day hospital services. But I'm glad you asked the question. We do a lot of work that's focused external to the hospital as well, especially as a community hospital organization. We really do make sure that we're focused on taking care of patients before they get into the hospital setting. So there's two things that I want to talk about that are really exciting. The first is a program that we're working on with critical support from our healthcare district. We have members of our district board sitting at table 2, so thank you so much. But that program is expected to launch later this year, and it's a program designed excuse me, to address patients within the district, and particularly within Mountain View, that may be at risk for prediabetes. And so using technology as well as non-technology tools, we'll be able to identify those patients that are at particular risk, help them not only to identify those risks, but also help them be able to manage their prediabetes conditions, help them seek care, manage those signs and symptoms before they're in need of hospital or more critical services. So that's something that's really exciting that we'll be able to launch later this year, and we'll certainly bring more information as it becomes available. The second program that I'm really excited about, probably a little bit more near and dear to my heart right now, is I'm going to mess up the name of this, Healthy Cooking Challenge that's expected to launch in April. And I'm going to look at John. Did I get the name of that right?
Yeah, food is health.
Food is health, thank you. Which is, again, really important. We all know that active lifestyles and healthy cooking are really important to just maintaining positive health. And so what we're looking to do with this particular initiative is set up a challenge and giving an opportunity for folks to recognize that healthy cooking is not only simple, but it's really fun. And so with this challenge, you'll have the opportunity to submit recipes and participate in this challenge. So comes live in April, so we hope you have the opportunity to participate in this event with us.
That sounds great. I think we'll all have to participate in this challenge. Yeah. El Camino has done some really cool and rather unique things out in the community to improve our health. I'm most excited, and if any of you have seen the Cuesta Park Fitness Court. So you recently partnered with us in the city on providing a $150,000 grant for the design and the construction of this outdoor fitness equipment. Just last year, we got to cut the ribbon on that. What are other exciting technological advances that you're working on?
Yeah. So that's probably the most sort of visible one that's external facing, and I mentioned the two other programs that are again in service of the external facing community. There's a lot of other work that we're doing inside the hospital setting to further advance the health and promotion of our community. I'll say, just sort of by way of background, as we sort of teed up in the video, we've been in the community for 60 plus years, since 1961. 2 hospital campuses with a campus in Los Gatos, but our main hospital campus here in Mountain View. We also have a growing medical network, not only here in Mountain View, but across the Bay Area with primary and specialty care clinics, as well as an expansive urgent care network as well. And so we're often really thinking about how we continue to not only maintain the services, but continue to grow those services to meet community health needs. And so some of the things that we're doing to invest in our community, thinking about growth in technology. Right now we have a reinvestment in our core imaging functions within our Mountain View campus. We have a reinvestment and revitalization of our women's health program that is almost complete. It'll be complete by the end of this year. Last year, we completed an entire renovation and upgrade of our NICU program, which meant that we have all new private NICU rooms. Just yesterday, we had approval to expand our mother-baby maternal child health services, adding new maternal child health rooms to our portfolio, which again expands the number of services that we're able to offer to our community, which is really great for us. I think we deliver, dare I say this with the children's health team in the room, but we deliver over 5,000 babies a year, which rivals the Stanford Children's Team. Thank you to Google. Yeah. It is a competition. Thank you to the Google team because we deliver so many babies from our Google friends as well. We call them the Google babies.
Contributing in multiple ways to Mountain View. That's what I'm hearing.
But it is one way that we are really able to, again, meet the needs of the community and be really good partners, not only to our families, but to organizations as well. And so in growing our services like imaging, like our mother-baby unit, in growing our cardiac cath program, all of these services are really intended to make sure that we're meeting the clinical needs of our community. And it's not just about the technology and the services or the rooms or the programs. The way that this shows up for our patients is in our quality outcomes. And the way that you might see this as sort of a community member or somebody that might not be in need of the services right away are the awards that we receive for the outcomes in our programs. And you can see this on our website. We don't chase the awards, but this is a reflection of the high quality of care that we deliver each and every single day. And something that we're incredibly proud of. Year over year over year, we're recognized for the high quality of care that we deliver each and every day.
And speaking of, you're very active with mental health and aging. I know for my grandparents who were at El Camino, could you say a few words about your Alzheimer's support group? I know we have our county supervisor here, and I think by 2040, is it 40% are going to be seniors? Yeah. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just say, in general, we have a really strong mental health program that services a variety of patient types across all age spans. I'm happy to talk more about that in any other setting. In particular, for the Alzheimer's patient population, we have a really strong partner with the Alzheimer's Association, and for a number of years have held support groups multiple times a month, and this program is currently funded through one of our mental health clinicians within our behavioral health program. So we're able to keep up that partnership through support directly from the hospital. Great. So really, really important work, and something that I'm personally passionate about as well.
Yeah.
So.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Tracy. Mike, we're going to turn to you. I'm hungry. I didn't get to eat my breakfast this morning. So I hope I don't get too hungry while we talk about this conversation. But Frankie, Johnny, and Luigi's was a beloved institution of our Mountain View community. I know your new restaurant, Giorgio's Italian Grill and Pizzeria, is a bit different. I know Peter has been talking to me about missing your linguine and clams, but please share a bit about yourself and why you decided to reimagine your space on El Camino.
Yeah. We still have the spaghetti and clams, Peter, come on. Yeah, come on. So I'm third generation ownership of our business, so third generation business owner. Yeah. We have, Giorgio's has 4 locations in the Bay Area. One in Morgan Hill, downtown Morgan Hill, one in Milpitas, one in Willow Glen, and then the reopened one in Mountain View. A lot of people don't know that Giorgio's was affiliated with Frankie, Johnny, and Luigi's. My grandfather and uncle bought Frankie, Johnny, and Luigi's in 1956. It used to be called Rocky's. And then my father and uncles took it over in 1972. And operated it since then, and then over the years acquired a couple pieces on each side on the El Camino, and then about 10 years ago we started thinking, this land is not being fully utilized, and you see what was going on the El Camino and the general plan for the El Camino, and it was time to start looking at what to do, how could we better utilize the space and the dirt. And so that's when we started looking at what to do. And at that time, the restaurant was doing okay. I think with everything that was happening on Castro Street, there was a lot more competition. For a long time, Frankie, Johnny, Luigi's was the only pizza joint around we used to have people coming from Stanford and from everywhere. And then all of a sudden you look down Castro Street and there's 100 restaurants. And that's great. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it definitely affected things, and so then we started looking at what to do with it, and that's when we decided to redevelop it, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and you've transformed the historic restaurant. It has a fully electric kitchen, outdoor dining, and you're talking about how your business had to pivot and adapt to changing customer dynamics.
Yeah.
Do you want to share a little bit more?
Yeah. So. The fully electric kitchen is it's an interesting concept. I can't say that we're working on it. I don't know if anyone from PG&E is in here, but please help us out with that bill. Yeah. They're a sponsor, I know that, but you know.
I know someone. I'll connect you with her.
We have one. Our pizza oven is gas. We got a variance for that, but thanks to PG&E, we do have a fully electric kitchen. It actually helps cut down on the cooking times and stuff, so it is working. There's a lot of benefits to it. We did pivot. The space is a smaller space, so it is kind of a shock to a lot of people that were Frankie and Johnny fans because it was an old house and it was a unique place, but it's a smaller concept, and we did that on purpose because a lot of our business was going towards takeout and delivery. And so the space inside is smaller, and then through COVID, you know, we have outdoor dining space now with a nice patio, and we just enclosed, you know, put some awnings and made it a little bit more comfortable during the winter time. So that's how we pivoted towards that, is more of a streamlined delivery, takeout, and outdoor dining. So
great.
Yeah.
And you found new ways too to give back to the community by creating this mixed-use space. We were talking with Tracy about mental health and the aging community. Can you say a few words about Villa Toscana?
Yeah,
and maybe
absolutely.
Introduce it for those who aren't
I would
familiar.
love to, yeah. One of the reasons why we went with memory care was our site was very narrow, and so we had parking restrictions, and obviously with a memory care facility, they don't drive. So that was one of the factors as to why we decided to do that type of facility. And so with memory care, we have a memory care facility up above, for those of you that don't know. It's 60 rooms. And actually, I want to give a shout out. Our executive director, Andrew, is here, and our sales director, Nicole. So thanks for being here. Wave your hands over there. Our operator is called Calson Management, and the facility is called Villa Toscana. It's an ode to Italian. No, we're Italian, of course.
Yeah.
So memory care is for people with Alzheimer's or memory-related issues, and we're really proud of that because it was a big need in Mountain View. I don't know, there's not very many memory care beds in the city, and so it was definitely fulfilling a need that the city had, and we're proud of that, and we're starting to fill up, and we definitely have room to grow. So if you guys know anybody, they're right over there. Yeah, and please talk to her after the breakfast, okay? So yeah, that's what we did over there.
Well, and I think it's so great, both you and El Camino. I know El Camino also has a partnership with Avenidas, which is our senior day center near our senior center in Mountain View. It's just really great to see how we're addressing the needs of our residents. But back to food. I heard there's a secret menu. Is this true? Should we tell the crowd who are here that there is one? Or am I going to get in trouble for sharing?
There's probably a couple throwback items from the old days that the cooks could make. Okay. Yeah, there's a couple throwback items there, definitely. So, awesome. If you come to Giorgio's, you'll be treated like family, and if you come to Villa Toscana, it's a family-owned business. You'll be treated like family. So, if you know some of the throwback items, we'll see what we can do.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. I think that's your inside hook. That's the takeaway from Morning with the Mayor that you found out. Thanks so much, Mike. All right, Chris, it's your turn. You were smart. You brought your coffee up here. You've been caffeinating the whole time. A lot of major projects take years to complete, or that's what we hear on council. So it was great to tour.
I could say that. Yeah.
I was like,
you lived it.
Yeah. We're keeping it positive. So it was great. It was great to have a ribbon cutting of your newest unveiling, which was the Avell Apartments last month. Saris Regis has been a longtime commercial and residential developer right here in Mountain View. Please share a bit about your background and what makes Mountain View the best place to build.
Yep, thanks, Ellen. I'd like to start by saying thank you to the Chamber and to the Mayor for hosting this morning's event. I'm Chris DeHaan. I'm with Saris Regis Group. As Ellen mentioned, we're a local home builder and developer. We're based in San Mateo, but we have a long track record of doing business in Mountain View that goes back, I think, all the way to the early 1990s with sort of single-family home and townhome developments. Today, people better know us for all the work that we've done. More on the commercial side, we've built millions of square feet for Google, including their new Bayview campus, which was LEED Platinum Super sustainable. People know it for the big dragon scale solar roofs. We're very proud of those buildings. And closer to my heart on the housing side of things, as Ellen mentioned, we recently just completed the first phase of residential development at 1001 North Shoreline, which is a mixed-use, very innovative development, which took a Google office property actually and added new homes by converting the parking lots into a parking garage. We're very proud of that. It's a very innovative model for the future, and we hope to do more of that type of work going forward. I would just add, speaking of Avell, and thank you for coming to the ribbon cutting. It's been a long journey. I think working with Mountain View staff was fantastic there. It really was a true public-private partnership. It involved a new extension of the water and sewer mains serving the North Bay Shore area, which now runs through our site, and we built for the city. So we're very proud of that. And I'm happy to announce, since Avell opened in November, we signed 110 leases in the first 100 days, which really speaks to A, how badly people want to live and work in Mountain View, and B, just how bad and deep the housing crisis continues to be. So we feel very bullish about continuing to build new housing. Clearly there's a need and a desire for it, but we're very excited to see how well received Avell was in the Mountain View community. I would just add one more thing. I know you have a bunch of questions for me, but I think close to 25% of the people living at Avell work at Google and walk to work across the street. So if that isn't a model for sustainable development, I don't know what is, and we're very proud of that.
Yeah. And I think you were also sharing with me, many of the people who are in Avell were already in Mountain View, and they just sought to relocate into your property. So our region's housing shortage, which you mentioned a bit, has caused things to change very rapidly. We're obviously in the midst of it. But what opportunities are you seeing?
Yep, I think that's fantastic. I'd say a lot of things. I think Mike's development is a fantastic model. For this community, there's so many businesses out there that own land that's underutilized. Basically everything that we do at this point is infill development. There's not a lot of raw land in Mountain View. I don't think that would surprise.
You can't grow any more land either.
Exactly. But yours is a great model for how you can take an existing business, invest in it and grow it for the future, and also add needed uses like senior housing, market rate housing, affordable housing, you name it, you can add to the site and improve the businesses that are there. So I feel really good about that model. Obviously, a lot has changed. I'm going to keep it optimistic. Rates going up has sort of changed the game for development, but there's still a deep need for housing, as I mentioned, particularly for sale housing. And I feel really bullish about our home building platform that's been very active building for sale housing and providing new home ownership opportunities in Mountain View. And going forward, I think the economics look pretty good. I'm really pleased to hear that the city is studying fee reductions potentially. I think that's going to go a long way to unlocking some sites, particularly on the for sale side. And we look forward to building some homes.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think I love to hear it. I think for sale is something I've been trying to work on since I've been on council. I think we have over 60% of people in Mountain View rent, but so many people want to be able to stay here. So you mentioned and touched upon a little bit that we're facing some headwinds. So I think maybe if you could share how you've had to pivot. I just think of Friends, right? When they're moving the sofa and they're like, pivot, right?
Yep.
In what ways are you pivoting down that staircase?
It's
the best episode.
That's a good question. As Mike has experienced and everybody on the council and staff knows well, it takes a long time, not just in Mountain View, but just in California to get housing approved, to get it built. It's just the nature of the beast. The key is flexibility. A lot of times, using 1001 North Shoreline as an example, we have a condo map. We have the ability to build the housing for sale if that's what the market desires, or not if that's where the market goes. And that kind of flexibility helps keep housing developments on track. So I just throw that out there. I think that's an important piece of giving us the ability to react to market forces. As everybody in the room knows, things change on a dime in the course of a 10-year development life cycle. New administrations come in, rates can go up, rents can go up or down, there can be a pandemic, and you have to be able to sort of ride the waves of those changes and still provide the needs that the community has.
Right. And just kind of on the coattails of that, what can the city and developers do together to make the living communities more attractive and vibrant? I think what I was really impressed with going to your newest property, Avell, is that it had co-working spaces, it had different like places where if you didn't want to work in your apartment, you could go. And I mean, what I wish I could take my dog to, like the doggy spa. Tell us more about what we can do together to make things more attractive and vibrant.
I think that's a great question. I mean, Mountain View should be very proud of the development that's happened here in the last 10 years. It's a demonstration of just how vibrant the business community is, how badly businesses and people want to be in Mountain View. We're very proud of Avell. I think it looks beautifully, it'll live beautifully, and I think will continue to be a fresh part of the Mountain View built environment for a long time. Again, I think, and not to beat a dead horse, but flexibility really is the most important thing. Just to pick an example, in the latest news everybody has seen, there's an announcement of tariffs that can change, the prices of certain materials, and so just giving developers the ability to keep focused on the top level goals, which is getting the homes built, bringing the new office space, whatever it happens to be, and sort of being able to navigate the changes in the market. And maybe it's not a particular type of tile one day, maybe we make that change, but just having that flexibility to sort of adapt to things and still get the overall housing built, I think is important.
Yeah, flexibility, adaptability, but also resilience. So really thankful to the three of you for sharing all those. Now we're going to get into the fun part, which is the lightning round. So we're saying 60 seconds, okay? I'm not timing, but the crowd will, right? So let's do a lightning round for just some quick fun questions. So, and Mike, we'll start with you, then we'll go down, and then we'll come back as I go through. So, if one of our attendees came into your business this afternoon, what would you show them?
The kitchen, so the restaurant and the memory care facility share a kitchen actually. So we have, again, the all electric kitchen is the Giorgio's kitchen, and then it also shares with the memory care facility, which goes up to the 60 rooms. So it's a very unique concept, something that kind of everyone had to wrap their heads around for a while. I don't know if there's anything like it around, so that's a pretty unique thing that I would show them for sure.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, what would you do if someone came into one of your properties? You'll have to choose one so that everyone knows to go there.
Well, I love to tour people through our communities. I love to show off Avell. When we can get approval, I love to show Bayview because it's just so incredible. And it's just a model of what we can do together. Like I said, there's many businesses, both in the room and not, that own land, that don't know what to do with it, that maybe have a problem. We help businesses solve problems with their land and add value. And so I'm excited to continue doing that.
Great. Tracy?
Okay, that's a really tough question in healthcare. So notwithstanding the technical difficulties of patient privacy and all that stuff, I would invite you to have a conversation with our team members and really get a sense of the culture of the El Camino way, the El Camino Hospital. And I think this was shared earlier, that it is really being treated, neighbors treating neighbors. And if you talk to any of our team members, any of our providers, you would get a sense not only of the deep compassion that they have for their profession and for the work that they do, but the sense of commitment for, again, that high quality care, the personalized experience, the really high touch services that they provide. So I wouldn't necessarily say there's one particular service, although I would probably have you spend a little time with our robots because they're sort of fun, but I would say spend time with our teams.
Great. All right, Tracy, we'll stick with you. What are you most excited about for 2025 at El Camino?
I'm going to Giorgio's.
All right. Well,
not for the health challenge though.
No, for like linguine and clams, or pizza, or something. After I go to Giorgio's, I am excited. I'm actually really excited, again, not to be super geeky about this answer, but being new in any role in any organization is challenging, right? Spending the first year in a role. So I'm excited about sort of my transition into year two and seeing the the sort of fruits of the labor of year one and seeing the sort of rewards of what we've accomplished in that first year, and really then accelerating some of the changes and progress into year two, and being a little bit more comfortable and sort of getting even a little bit more acclimated. So digging deeper roots. That's what I'm excited for.
Well, there's no place better than Mountain View to put your roots.
100%.
Chris, what are you most excited about for 2025?
I'm a little bit simpler.
Not
I love to build things. I love housing. I'm the housing guy up here. There's a handful of sites that we're looking at in Mountain View, and I'm excited to meet with staff and talk about how to get some housing built there. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of green shoots. I think a lot of opportunities looking forward. There's clearly a deep need for housing still, and I love building for sale housing. I love home ownership. I love giving people that opportunity to feel invested in Mountain View, and I feel really good about that looking forward.
Thank you. Well, thank you for investing in Mountain View. And speaking of investment in Mountain View, Mike, you talked all about what you've been doing, but what are you most excited about for 2025?
Good weather. Good weather, because then we have the patio for Georgia's and having people out there eating pizza and drinking wine.
Get your reservation in now.
Exactly. I like that. Yeah.
All right, last question of our lightning round. We all know that Mountain View is the best place to live, work, and play. What do you love doing in town when you are not working?
Eat pizza and drink wine.
Perfect. I mean, and get ice cream from Baskin Robbins, right, John? Yeah.
I mean, me too. I love Art and Wine. Can I steal that answer? It's a toss-up for me between the Art and Wine Festival. I come every year. I love it. Such a great thing. Please keep doing it. And also Shoreline Amphitheater. I mean, who doesn't love a concert? Especially post-pandemic, just getting together, enjoying live activities and music. It's fantastic.
I agree. I think Shoreline's one of the best venues.
Yes. And I saw Debbie with Live Nation in here, right? Is she here? Yes, Debbie. Yes, I think summer at Shoreline. That's the best.
I love it.
I love
we need a banner.
Debbie, I want to meet you after.
We'll have to trademark that. Tracy, what are you what do you do when you're in town when you're not working?
Yeah, I would have said, just sort of at a very high level, anything outside in Mountain View, like all the parks, all the trails, eating outside, anywhere.
Castro, Castro Street.
Just being outside. Mountain View was the first place that my dog sort of walked off leash. Yeah, that's allowed. But
you're allowed. You're allowed.
So really near and dear to my heart. I was a little bit nervous, but he managed, and he's a big boy now, so we're all excited. So
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time. But as you see, there's lots of activity going on and excitement ahead in Mountain View. Can you help me thank our panel for just the candid answers, really sharing, providing their insights.
Thanks for having us.
And I would be remiss if I didn't point out our city table, so if our city folks can wave. I can't do any of this without the support of our city staff, my council colleagues. Really appreciate it. So I think we'll exit stage left and turn it back over to Peter. Thank you, everyone.
That was kick-ass. I want to thank especially our panelists. I want to thank our mayor. I want to thank everybody in this room today. I want to thank our sponsors. I want to thank the team. Really, this was the first time we've done this event, and I think from the attendance, from the quality of the speakers, from the subjects and all that, I can't wait to do it for next year. So I hope to see you all back next year, and of course, just really looking forward to the year ahead. A lot of awesome things happening. The Chamber is so proud to be working with all of you in one way, shape, or form. We're all in this together. This really is the best place to live, work, and play. So thank you all. Drive safely.